offer. Headed home though. Alright, headed the direction of my house. I'm going through downtown again. This is a good part of it though. Yeah, so I guess my plan will be to just make simple music beats, like make a video of it, like how I did my pinball. And then the reason why I said I do the creative writing is that's how you do poetry. And if you don't know, that's the basis of songwriting. Every song written is, in a sense, poetry. Oh yeah, I've recently been watching YouTube videos. They were talking about industry plants, and they're talking about all these other artists that have, for like the 2000s. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with them, but there's one thing that saddened me that they're not talking about is especially Katy Perry. I didn't know that she had tried to get into making music 2 other times until the 3rd time. Well, from what I gathered, I don't know the official fact, but apparently it took her 3 times. But the one thing that everyone keeps forgetting to talk about when it comes to her song "I Kissed a Girl" was the only reason it was actually given more interest was it was co-written by a British singer named Cathy Dennis. If it weren't for her, that would have been the 3rd time Katy Perry would have been looked over. Yeah, so, and Cathy Dennis was, I remember hearing her music all over, no matter where you were on the radio in the 90s. So, yeah, no, she got her breakthrough because that song "I Kissed a Girl" was co-written by Cathy Dennis. And if you're like, well, what else has she done? She's done Britney Spears' "Toxic." She co-wrote that. She co-wrote a lot of popular 2000 songs, a lot of them. And then to give you more light on other artists writing for other artists, if you don't know the Bangles' "Manic Monday," if you really like that song, well, there's a reason why people like that song. It was written by the artist Prince. Yeah, that's right. If you didn't know, Prince wrote that song for the Bangles. I didn't know until we were deploying, and then during our deploying training, when we were in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, they have free radio on post, so the guy on the bus was listening to it because he's like, oh, during the lunchtime they play good music. And that song came on, he started laughing. And one of the guys I was deployed with, he was a little older than me. He's like 15 years older than me. I started laughing because I started singing to it. He started laughing. He's like, yeah, it's a pretty catchy tune. And he's like, yeah. He's like, do you know why it's catchy? And I looked at him, I was like, because it's the Bangles? He's like, no. He's like, because Prince wrote it. He's like, did you not know that? I was like, no. He's like, yeah. He's like, Prince wrote a lot of music for 80s artists. So that's another thing you should look into. So I guess, you know what? I'm going to start just reviewing people's fact checks and their review on all these artists. And I'll let you know, like, no, the reason why they got popular is because of this other artist. But yeah, Britney Spears was on the wayside, but when she co-wrote "Toxic," that kind of gave her another second boost to her career, because people were interested in her again. And then she lost all that weight again, and then like, oh, okay, that's when everyone was interested. But then, obviously she became a mother, so motherhood, can't get mad at that. But the world likes to, so anywho. So, yeah, it was Cathy Dennis. Her lyrics from the 90s, they're very provocative. You gotta remember, this is Europe now. Europe, from what I've been told, people who've been stationed in Germany, you'll see half-naked woman on billboards or naked woman on billboards. So I've never been there. But no, that made me a little sad. I was like, man, they're not giving full credit to all the previous artists that propelled them. It's just like the well, he was popular in the 2000s, maybe 2010s, but Pharrell Williams, he did not get on. He was fortunate to get onto the scene, and then he was quiet for a long time. Oh yeah, there used to be a YouTube guy. He used to go around making all these artists freak out about the history he finds out about them. And but for Pharrell Williams, his first Allocated was on Rex and Effects, which was a group with Teddy Riley in it. And Teddy Riley was another producer that was very well known and popular. So it wasn't Pharrell Williams who produced that song. He helped produce the song, but at the time, the main producer and the popular producer was Teddy Riley. So now, there's more homework. Teddy Riley, oh man, he produced a lot of good, and he sang too. He sang R&B. I'd say the best Teddy Riley singing song he sang was with Deborah Cox. It's called "Nobody's Supposed to Be Here." Man, he sings his heart out. So I always liked Teddy Riley. I always missed the fact that you know what? I should see if he still produces music. Because I previously looked up Darkchild and Trackmasters. They're old hip hop producers, and they're making music again too. So, and if you don't know, I just said 3 producers that make those heavy hip hop beats that you only hear like, damn, this is some hardcore hip hop. Yeah, I haven't heard from Teddy Riley in a while. I think the last thing I heard about him that was like really hitting the scene was he was actually trying to I think he was starting in the 2000s, like towards the end of the 2000s, he was starting to collaborate with the Korean music group YG Entertainment. That was the last thing I heard. Because Korea, you know, Seoul is so small, you meet random people, and one night I randomly met a person that was the producer for YG Entertainment. His last name was Choi. And yeah, we were having a good time. He was already out of it, so he just kept telling us to hang out with him. Me and the guy I was hanging out with. So we hung out with him and went back to his house, and that dude showed me a picture of him and Teddy Riley. I was like, whoa! So that's I always remember Teddy Riley because of that picture. I actually have the digital. I still have the digital pictures of the guy that I met, because it was in my youth. Oh man, I made it all the way back without even hearing anything from my thing. I guess I made the good choice to come all the way back. But yeah, so remember, Kathy Dennis was an artist in the 90s, and then she started writing for people after the 90s. Prince wrote for people in the 80s, maybe in the 90s. He wrote for a lot of people. And then producers I like that made hip hop was Teddy Riley, Trackmasters, and Darkchild. And Darkchild's more unanimously known to be working with Destiny's Child, you know, Beyonce before she went solo. Alright, I'll talk to y'all later.